Alright, as much as yesterday was a time to celebrate and embrace and thank the films that were great in 2017, now it's time to strike back. Let's talk about the biggest shit stains on the carpet, the films that shat on us, and now we will shit back on them. But first, let's start with a few honorable, or in this case dishonorable mention, that just lucked out of the list. Like an unnecessary sequel that no one asked for and it was worse than you could possibly imagine, with Rings, the cringiest, cheesiest romance you could ever think, with the space between us. Who even remembers that? The failed international attempt at getting into the superhero genre with PS2 special effects graphics, or the fact that The Rock will never adopt me now because I have this on my dishonorable mentions list, and he will probably burst into my door and rock bottom my candy ass, and then people's elbow me in the chest, and I can't wait for that to happen. Or a film that is equally as cold as Wind River, but because of its boring and messy and uninteresting storyline with uninteresting characters with that cold ass chemistry. And now that we got our dishonorable mentions out of the way, let's get right on to the list. This should be fun. The Assignment is only here at number 10 because it is absolutely hilarious. You gather a couple of friends, you watch this film, you will laugh. But it's absolutely atrocious. It's Michelle Rodriguez. It's Michelle Rodriguez playing a man that gets forcibly turned into a woman. That's all you need to know, really. Oh my god, Geostorm. This film was ridiculous and awful in all the wrong ways. The cliches are all there, from the guy that calls his friend and tells him that he has information but he's not going to tell him right now, for them to meet at a certain point at a certain time. Guess what's going to happen? To a very cliched villain with very cliched motivations, a very cliched president, a very cliched romance, and then the scene in which Jared Butler tells his brother this completely messy code that you would never guess. This film has no idea how to be a disaster film, and it's one of the worst of the genre. 50 Shades Darker needs no justification to being on this list, but why it's only at number 8, it's because at least we get to see boobs. Call me whatever you want, a misogynistic pig or whatever, I'm a dude, I like boobs, we get to see them. The film is still awful with awful writing. Don't hire the husband of the writer of these awful books to write a fucking film. The actors in this film are talented, they deserve better. And I am a guy that is willing to bet that in the right hands, sexy and whatever else you want to praise it for, this film sucks ass. I hate it. We're finally, hopefully, getting the last one this year, and then we're done. Oh my god. Transformers. I'm a guy who likes Michael Bay. I'm a guy who likes the first 3 Transformers in all different ways. I'm a guy who says this is worse than Transformers 4, which is not good in any way, shape, or form. This film tarnishes the legacy of the Transformers, even by the standards that these movies have put them in. Don't care whatever excuse this film has for the changing format, it is inexcusable. Michael Bay, you have tarnished your legacy as a filmmaker, and it wasn't all that good in many people's eyes anyway, but now I am glad this guy is stepping away. I have no desire to see any film from Michael Bay, whether in the Transformers franchise or not. This is how bad things have gotten. Anthony Hopkins in this film, my god, I wanna puke. Let's move on. The Bye Bye Man. It can also be hilarious in a way, but this film, it doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right, it's not acted right whatsoever. The actors in this film are, I'm sorry for them. Because if they're here, they're probably getting into the business, they want to be actors, they want to do good work. This is not it, man. The Bye Bye Man is a film so ridiculous where the plot holes are bigger than the actual plot of the film. Awful. It looks like a student film that was made with no budget. This is coming to you from a guy who has made films with no budget. Oh, be you! My God, this stinks to high heaven. This film was absolutely offensive. It has no restrictions with what tone and what kind of comedy it's trying to go at. Our leads have no chemistry, and what pains me the most is that Michael Pena and Dax Shepard are actually pretty funny guys. This film was directed and written and stars Dax Shepard. He clearly has a love for the Chip series. I never watched it, to be fair. This film is mean-spirited at points, it's offensive, it is ridiculous, it stinks to high heaven, as I said. This film is a piece of pure garbage. See that explosion? Might as well explode themselves, because that is what I wanted to do to myself as I watched this film. I know what you're saying. I know. What the hell is this? Because no one saw it. Because it came out direct to video on the United States, but over here it came out in theaters. I went to see it and I was bored to pieces. I was dumbfounded at how badly shot this film is. That is not one shot in this film that is well composed. Javier Bardem and Charlize Theron are actors beyond talented to pull off any material that they're given, and in here they are both absolutely awful. They have absolutely no chemistry whatsoever. Sean Penn, imagine how much I hate this dude as a director. I wanted to cut my wrists as I watched this film. And none of you saw it, luckily. And by the way, this is not a fan-made poster. This is official stuff, my friends. It's almost unfair to place this at number 3 because it's barely a movie, but The Snowman is one of the worst experiences I have ever had. I was struck trying to put pieces together only to realize that pieces were not there to begin with. This film starts out awful, it continues to be awful, and it puts you in a really bad mood because look at the actors, look at the cinematographer, look at the director of this film, and look at how much people praise the novel. Michael Fassbender just lucked out last year of being on my worst list with Assassin's Creed, but in here he absolutely deserves so with this film. From Val Kilmer's weird ADR dubbing to J.K. Simmons' plot thread being absolutely unnecessary, awkward, and meaningless to the film, to Michael Fassbender starring as a hero of our narrative as Harry Hole. Let that sink in. You knew this was going to be here eventually. Let's face it, what other film is as so pandering as this to kids, trying to capture on something that's popular right now but having no understanding why it works? It tries to feed off the popularity of so many things and it doesn't even understand why the demographic it's aiming at likes these things. From one awkward dance scene that is just used to promote a song to the apps that it's using to promote to even existing. This is a quick cash grab that has no reason to exist besides trying to make money without understanding. They made Patrick Stewart be poop. We can actually say that, people. We live in a world where saying Patrick Stewart is poop is not wrong. What the hell is wrong with us? Well, my beautiful geekies, I have hated a lot of these films. I have hated a whole bunch of them, even some that are only in the dishonorable mentions. But there is one movie that made me hate myself so much. It made me question what filmmaking actually is. It made me question my love for film and my decision to try and see as much movies as I can, to try and give every movie that comes out a chance. There is one movie that has offended me to my core with how it treats filmmaking and how it has paid workers to work on such a piece of vile, putrid dinosaur vomit. And that is Resident Evil, the final fuck your brain cells down to the atom. This is not a movie. This is not a movie. This is Paul W.S. Anderson jerking off, seeing his wife, trying to pull off some action sequences. Because as they were shooting this movie, I'm sure Mila Jovovich did all her action stunts herself because she's that badass, she's that awesome. In this film, the longest shot is 5 seconds long. This editing is something out of this world. Is something directly from hell that came out to torture me and torment me from some reason. I don't know what I did to deserve my eyes having to witness the disgrace that is this film. It fucked my brain cells down to the core. I felt dumber as I watched this movie happening and happening and happening. At one point, I started to laugh, but eventually I stopped laughing and I just got angry. This film has no reason to exist. It's exactly the same as the others, while at the same time it completely shits on its predecessors. This has no direction, clearly no writing, it doesn't understand characters whatsoever, and editing is just another word to Paul W.S. Anderson. This is the one that actually, personally, as a guy who wants to be a director one day, as someone who wants to work in the film business, this film offends me to my core. I fucking hate this piece of vile trash. So fuck you, Paul W.S. Anderson. Fuck you, Resident Evil franchise. I hope it really is the last one, even though they give us another middle finger by the end saying it's not really the last one. You'll see more shit whenever we decide to waste more of our money on the next one. So that was fun. It actually feels good. Come to the end of the year and let's just vent about these awful pieces of garbage that are barely movies to begin with. It feels nice, and I want you guys to have this opportunity to let some weight off of your shoulders, to be mad about these pieces of trash, these vomit piles on the floor. Be mad, share your worst list in the comments below, and thank you so much, my beautiful geekies, for all your kind comments yesterday on the best of 2017 list. I can't wait to have your comments on this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to bring you the next list, which will be my most anticipated movies of 2018. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me once more in 2017, following movies, reviewing movies, talking to you guys has been a blessing. I can't wait for another year of it. Let's hope for the best year yet. And I want to wish you all a happy new year, and I can't wait to see you on the new year with my most anticipated for the year list. And so until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so you can be geeky united!